Okay, guys. Hopefully, you guys can hear this. Today's question we'll be asking on the very controversial game Star Nexus. A game that was not designed to be controversial, but people greed for power made it so, right? Star Nexus start its journey after the Paramount shutdown. It remains for a while as the only Star Trek type game, although it has shifted away from Star Trek, right? That has changed, well, not in game status, but where it becomes controversial is that the fact that a new game comes along, and that new game has become a fully Star Trek game, right? Maybe the game developer, that's no problem on mine. In fact, it is, as I said many times, it is a good thing that developers are still able to bring back Star Trek game and in a new way than how it was before Paramount. Because some developers on Roblox are very stupid that they don't recognize that Paramount is literally still out there scanning, looking, and these developers is literally going out their way and attacking what is left on Roblox. Don't take my word for it. Search up Star Trek right now and you won't find many. You can see other franchises like Star Wars. There are countless Star Wars games. And it makes you, sometimes I have to understand this whole controversial issue that these developers takes with Star Nexus. It makes me start to wonder what it is Star Nexus brings that these developers try so hard to make it go. What is it that makes them, they have their game, it looks amazing, it looks good, but what is it that Star Nexus carry that makes them try to make it go away, that they will jeopardize their own fan base to make sure that Star Nexus doesn't see a light of day? Let's go back to January 1st. January 1st, 2026. New game came out, Starship Trek. Right? A lot of fans were talking about it. A lot of fans come to me because I was the only Star Trek based game. Well, not based, but heavily inspired by Star Trek. Right? So a lot of fans came out to me and told me the good news. I took it upon myself, be peacefully, and went into the game. I found out who's the game developer. His name sounded quite familiar, so I think nothing of it, right? And I talked to him. Everything was peaceful, right? A few days into January, well, no, correction, meeting him was, let me say, December month 2025, right? Around Christmas time. This person would have bring the game out, right? and we talked. I think, well, you guys can watch previous videos. I'm gonna go through all that screenshots again because it's a lot. It is a lot, right? But we talked, we spoke, and it seemed peaceful at first. You know, both of us were happy that, you know, we are keeping the spirit of Star Trek. Well, as I assume that way, right? Because come January 1st, I get to find out the developer of Starship Trek intentions was never good for Star Nexus. This guy has demonstrated he does not like competition. Although, as I made it clear, Star Nexus was never to be competition. But the main reason why I made the game, I think you can see the ship twice on the screen you're watching right now. And that's the USS Discovery. I made the game because I was playing, I just say it every time, I am a big fan of the USS Discovery. I played Star Trek Online until I am at the Admiral level. And I found that Star Trek Online made it very hard to get the USS Discovery. So you know what I did? I took it upon myself. I made a Roblox game. I already had a successful Roblox game before I even start working on Star Nexus or its previous incarnations, right? Before Paramount shut it down. So Star Nexus was always a passion project for me. You know, it just fulfilling a desire and a fun that I wanted for myself. Other players joined in because they probably share the same feelings that I did. But Star Nexus was designed to make me comfortable, right? It wasn't planned to be any competition because when it first came out, there were countless, and I say countless, there were countless Star Trek games, right? Star Nexus didn't just came out just so. Star Nexus was called Star Trek United, Star Trek Uncharted Worlds, and many other incarnations. In fact, its first incarnation was actually called Star Trek Discovery, the Roblox game. Because I'm a fan, because remember, as I said before, I am a big fan of the Discovery, and my main reason for creating the game is because Star Trek Online made it hard to get. So it was my inspiration into creating what we know as today as Star Nexus, right? So let's go back to this, right? During the progress of Star Nexus, right? What will become Star Nexus? After the Paramount first shut down, when the game in its previous incarnation was called Starship, was called Star Trek Uncharted Worlds, right? While the game was shut down with that name, an important decision was needed to be taken. And I took that important decision. This is why I say the game cannot be another Star Trek game anymore. It will have Star Trek contents, but as you can see on the screen, this game brings way more than Star Trek could ever been, right? So we're going down a little history class for you guys concerning Starship Trek. Star Nexus, right? So I took an important decision with my fans involved because they were devastated of what happened to Star Trek Uncharted Worlds. And I made a promise to them that I wasn't going to give up, that I was going to find a way to bring back the game. And the $1 million idea is the main reason why Star Nexus still stands and other Star Trek games has fallen. People thought it was the level of detail. Paramount don't give a shit about details or what's in your game. I figured out it from a long time that the minute you portray your game as a Star Trek game or as a Star Trek game, Paramount will come and take you down. I have learned this from a game on Roblox called Project Stardust, where they do have Star Trek content but not Star Trek based. That was the $1 million idea needed for Star Nexus. Right? So, going down in the whole details, we didn't just do a name change. I had to go and do a lot of research in other sci-fi shows. I had to watch other sci-fi shows, understand, because I'm a person, when I work on a game, I be very keen on details. If I don't make it perfectly, I don't make it at all. Right? So, me and my fans work together. I talk to them. I say, well, guys, we gotta make this game more than just a Star Trek game. And these guys, they contributed a lot. And I think I am like one of those most nicest developer, and not what some of these people are trying to portray of. And I will come down later on to that. Right? I'm one of the nicest developers who will actually interact with his fans, with people who makes videos and stuff with my game, right? We build a community in better terms, right? We are not just players and I'm a developer, we become a family. You understand? Our own concept of a united federation, right? We are a united federation of players. Because I am a player, I'm a heavily player. If you see my play time in Star Nexus, you will see I play Star Nexus a lot. So I don't just create game, I also play because that is all my policy is. If I'm not happy playing my game, then other players are not gonna be happy. Right? So, and I'm telling you guys all this because remember, what's the main question at first, What it is Star Nexus has that other developers will risk losing their fandom to make sure that Star Nexus is wiped off. Right? So let's go again. Go back into history class. Now, let me introduce you guys how I end up finding out who is meeting KV and also known as Vortex Gamer, right? KV, aka Vortex Gamer, was actually a YouTuber, an upcoming YouTuber, right? Like my friend Gamerman. Gamerman, he covered a lot of videos on my first successful game, which is a Knight Rider game. And that game till this day is still top of the line. Best Knight Rider game. There has not been any other game to replace it. Trust me, I have stopped working on that game for years. Maybe approximately, let me say about 5 years. And the game still stands as the only best Knight Rider game on Roblox. Right? So, when I started working in its early incarnation on Nexus, I met KB, right? Yeah, a YouTuber, he reached out to me in the game, messaged me and stuff, right? And all our discussions has been about game content. KB also asked me for ideas in creating games, right? He created a car game, it didn't work out. He created a Starship game, it did not work out. And then later on he then comes again and creates a lot of things. I have taught that young man a lot on how game development works, right? I try my best, although I was busy at a lot of times. I try my best. He contacts me on Discord, right? He contacts me on Discord concerning how things work. He showed me how 3D model stuff works and whatnot, right? And if he's truthful with himself, he will admit those things, right? But something, you know, you just had that gut feeling that something is up. I had it for a while. I watched that kid who used to message and say, "Hey Cam, can you help me with this?" To just be silent, barely talking. And I said, huh, but you just want to shake it off, but your gut is telling you something is wrong. Be careful. And I just tell people, like, I always know when there's snakes. I have that keen sense for when people is being snake about around me. And that's what on the last I spoke to that young man, he did not pick up what I meant, because he was like, "Oh, you're quoting from the Bible." But if you read that scripture I just quote, he will understand that I already knew a good while now what he was planning to do. I already knew. I was hoping he would not reach that point, but sadly he did. In February 2026, there were peace talks with Nexus and Starship Trek, where there were discussions for the betterment of the fandom, because both our fans like Nexus and Starship Trek. There were even times that the developer Apollo even entered, but I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't stupid enough to like allow this guy to come in my original game. So I made a copy, right? And it's a good thing too, I made that copy, because this person they built the Starfleet headquarters on the Earth map, but they went searching, just like they did in the beginning, right? When they entered they messaged me on Discord about an Enterprise D model by the name of someone named David. At the time, I had no idea the person name was David or who owned the model, right? Because again, at Star Nexus, we are like a family, we are like a community, right? So when we want something in the game, we work together to get stuff in the game. And the fans has contributed where to find the Enterprise D. So I took it and I added to the game. Not willy-nilly, wanted to not give people credit, right? I'll show you something here, right? What Apollo says. Hang on. And it goes to show, right? You make a big deal. This person sent me this information, right? What they told them, right? His name is Justin King. Hang on. Where it is. Where is it? Hang on, guys. Let me see if I find something. Right. Here it is, right? Here's it here. Right? That Apollo says, right? I stole the model, right? But at least the good side came out of KB and he said that I give Skylar credit for the rest of the models, right? Had I known that Enterprise D model was somewhat, or the creator of that Enterprise D model was looking for credit, I would have done the same, right? Because at the end of the day, the model is a free model. So I think nothing of it, right? And a good example here, what KB says, right here, he said, I give credit to some guy named Skylar. All of a sudden, KB does not know who Skylar is, right? But you were the same one was interested in his USS Discovery NCC 1031A model. I was lucky to meet Skylar, and I'm still thankful to meet him because he's a great guy, amazing person, and he has donated a lot of ships to Star Nexus. A lot, and I say a lot. Majority of the fleet of Star Trek ships came from Skylar, right? And I give him full credit, even though he never asked for it, and he still says don't give him credit. I still give him credit, you know. And it goes to show, right? Apollo tend to go in my group. He questioned me about the Enterprise D, right? One. Secondly, he then after that now, when I welcome him into my group and I answer all these questions, he then went on a rampage. So when you see him saying here, right, where he's telling this Justin guy, right, he says, so he stole a guy named David Models, and when I told him, he got angry. No, let me clarify that. It was never about me getting angry because of the model, right? Because the model was later on replaced by a model from Skylar, right? What angers me is that you fact that I went into your game, met you peacefully, right? I meet you peacefully. We talk peacefully within your game, right? And you came in my game server to cause drama, right? That's what pissed me off. That it is what pissed me off, right? And again, we're asking the question, what it is that Star Nexus have that the developer of Starship Trek will compromise his fandom to make sure Star Nexus doesn't see a light of day again. Right? Next thing also, he also says, I lie about dislike bombing his game. Well, AIs don't lie. Machines don't lie. Right? And on January 1st, in Star Nexus' entire history, in its whole entire history, right? And those who are watching, hopefully you guys will comment. Some of you guys will see it in the future as things progress. You guys had to come back on this day, right? In this history, because to be honest, being a game developer, I've been through this already. You understand? I've been through this already. This is a large extent of the situation, but I already been through this already. And these guys will go to the lowest until everybody hate them, right? For making me look bad. And on top of that, right? And on top of that, sorry, I'm reading something and it distract me here. I will address that at the same time too, right? So you came in, let me be real, right? You came in January 1st into my group, questioning me about a model. After that, let me say this, right? If you had nothing to do with it, right? After that, Star Nexus dislike went from 5 in its 5 years history of being on Roblox. It had 5 dislikes, only 5, right? And its whole entire history. All of a sudden, that will change on the day you came and addressed me about the Enterprise D and cause a whole drama in the Star Nexus group. I mean, even a moron could see what really happened on that day. And the sad thing is that KV is kissing Apollo ASS so much that he now changed his mind after providing evidence. And it's sad to see, because this young man, I know him to be a YouTuber, I know him to be a potential game developer, I know him for building amazing stuff in what's the name of that game? Space Engineers. These are the stuff we talk about, right? He builds the Star Trek thing. This kid has created a YouTube channel. I motivated him to create his to continue posting videos, and he quit. He quit. Every time pressure comes towards him, he quits. He tried being a game developer, he quits. He now drops a new game, and I guarantee you guys, if things instead of go his way, he started quits. Right? This is someone who have a record of giving up a lot. And I am the friend, you understand, the good guy, not the person this idiot Apollo is trying to portray as manipulating a child. If that is the case, well, it had to be beneficial for him if you count that as manipulation, because I have pushed him, but what previously known as Vortex Gamer, now he has his name as questionable. Now we know why, right? I pushed him to do well, right? He learns to, matter of fact, I can't even say he learned to script, because I can show you guys here, right? Look up, right? Try to pass this up as I have it here. Here's a prototype. Here is a prototype I still have here of Vortex Gamer KV flight system. And one thing I can tell is when an AI creates something. Look at this. When AI creates something, it shows these kind of stuff. Those highlights telling you what it does, right? So this is part of Kiwi flight system. We could go into more, right? Look again. This is basically what an AI tells you to do, right? It creates a script and it highlights what that part of the script is for, right? So you know how to edit it and stuff, right? So even though I taught him, and I say that it's all, sometimes I don't do it the best job because I'm so busy working on my game, right? I don't really dedicate too much in teaching people, right? I just tell them I learn on my own, right? Because then say, according to Paul at time, right? He says all Cameron's, all his codes come from AI, right? But this fool isn't aware that I've been a game developer and coding in stuff way before AI was even invented. I've been working on games since 2019 to 17, somewhere around there, right? I was still going to school while I was working on games. I took full-time dedication on working on games in 2020 during the COVID pandemic, right? That's why I took it serious, and that's why I made my first well popular game, Knight Rider game, right? It was something that no other fans ever seen. The game has gotten fans and YouTubers to make videos on it that are living in Russia, US, Germany, and other places, right? So the game was well popular on Roblox, right? Because for a long while, finally, Roblox has a really good Knight Rider game, right? And that is how I end up meeting my friend Gamerman, right? Gamerman is a big Knight Rider fan, and he, in his second video, I believe, we finally meet, and I showed him around, and he liked how I was communicative and reached out to the fans. So we became friends, and from there on, he has been very supportive in every decision done when it comes to my game. He even even videos, the early development of what would have later become Star Nexus, right? So we're saying this to come back again, and I'm asking again, what does Star Nexus, what does this game, Star Nexus, have that other game developers rather sacrifice their fandom to make sure that this game don't ever see a light of day? That's the question I want you guys to stick in your head. Because why am I asking this question? These guys goes around, right? And say, this game is terrible, this game is horrible, this game is the worst game. I don't lie, the game does have its issues. But I wouldn't call it terrible, I wouldn't call it horrible. And that's not just me being the creator. Like I said, I don't create games that I don't play. So I have to be comfortable to play Star Nexus. And my play account is huge. I'm talking about hours and days of playing Star Nexus. Right? Are there flaws? Of course it is. Is there things to be improved? Of course there is. Right? I'm still not comfortable with where Star Nexus is. I think it could be much bigger, and this is just the beginning. And that's what a lot of fans understood, but these morons does not. Right? Star Nexus was developing a very hard decision, which is try all best to avoid getting Paramount involved. We had a big decision. Up to this now, I don't know where to take Star Nexus. We are just trying our best to gather these ships. Right? We are trying our best to gather ships from different genre. Right? This is decision we had to make. It was a hard decision. It still is a hard decision. Right? To reinvent a game that was a Star Trek game. Right? Is it a successful? Yes, it has. It has done. Until a clown or insecure, egotistical person like Apollo arrived. It has been doing well on its own. And the thing is, what always bothers me is the same question I keep asking. What is all this for? What do they have to gain? Because you see Apollo keep repeating, he stole a model, he stole a model, he stole a model. But the model has been replaced. I said openly I wasn't aware who was the creator. Because I was more focusing on satisfying these fans them. Like I said before, in the beginning, Star Nexus was just Star Trek Discovery, right? So meaning everything you saw in Star Trek Discovery, that's what the game was about. Eventually, when we started naming Star Trek United and Star Trek Uncharted Worlds, we add in other Star Trek shows, right, into the game, right? So you had Voyager, you had the Enterprise D, you had the Enterprise E, you had the Enterprise F from Star Trek Online and whatnot, right? We add in the whole Star Trek, right? But as you see in the picture on the screen right now, you are seeing many versions of Discovery. And the reason why I keep showing that is to remind players where the game came from. what was the ideal reason for creating the game in the first place, right? And to see what they did and would not take, because I was the bigger person. I said in a video before, after I found out what Apollo did to my game, oh hell no, oh hell, all hell break loose. I started back on revenge. I created a lot of accounts and I went and deal with him. Sadly, he get less damage compared to what Star Nexus got, which was carrying an 88. Star Nexus was carrying an 88% rating. After Apollo, Star Nexus is now at 61%. When I organized my account, so did KV, but he will not come out and say that, right? Trying to make me look like the bad guy, but there was a time you were on my side and you wanted to get Apollo until Apollo unbanned you from his game, and then you went and started kissing his ASS and worshipping like if he's your god. All hail Apollo. But then again, Apollo is the Greek god, if you think about it. But anyway, so after doing this now and the damage is done to Star Nexus, Apollo went and banned me from his game. And when I say ban me, he also banned friends on my friend list on Roblox. He banned them as well. Even the little mention of Star Nexus will get you banned. And this is why I say, this is where ego makes you cost you your fan base. Right? Next is, you know the strangest thing is, why I want to ask you guys, I was saying, what Star Nexus has that a person would jeopardize everything to make sure that this game don't see a light of day, is the fact that there's more security put on Starship Trek than there is in Star Nexus. Let me repeat that for you. After what Apollo did, there's more security to keep me and my friends out of Star Nexus. I mean not Star Nexus, Starship Trek, than it is to be in Star Nexus. You know, despite of what these guys did, there is no security to keep them out. All I did was take the avatars and put it in a jail and assign saying what they did. And why am I saying this is that the fact, hang on, just a week ago I installed a new system, and I was saying, when these morons go around and telling lies and rumors, they must sometimes realize to cover the tracks. Right? Hang on, let me see if I get those screenshots. Where is those screenshots? Hang on. Because I was collecting data and I took a little idea from Apollo. That's one good thing I took from him. You understand? Right? And I added a system that keeps tracks of all players joining Star Nexus, right? And let me show you guys something here. Let me see if I get it. Hang on. I want to get that for you guys to show you something. Is this the list? This is the list. But I want to see if I get the top part of the list. to show you guys. Hang on. Because you're going around bashing, but you are spending all up to 7 minutes and more. And you didn't do it one trip after you betrayed me. You did it multiple times. So hang on. I don't want no one to say Cameron just making this up. Where is it? Come on. Hang on. Let me see if I get it to someone else. I was sending it to other players as well. Hang on. As they're saying, they're so stupid. They'll do this stuff but feel like I'm not documenting all what they've been doing. Alright, hang on. Let me minimize this. Open this. Screenshots. Scroll down. Where is it? I think there's it here. Hang on. Let's see. No, there's the bottom of the list. On the top. At the bottom of the list to show the ones who spend less time. And they see the top of the list. If I ain't get it here, I will have to go in the game and show you guys. Hang on. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, here what? Let's go into the game. Hang on. I know I took screenshot of that. I'm not seeing it. Playtime session. Ah, here it is. Here it is, right? What do you guys see there? And I'll go into the game to show you guys, right? I'll go into the game to show you guys. What do you see there, right? This was, as you can see on top here, where it says screenshot 2026, the 3rd, right? The 24th of the 3rd month, right? The screenshot was taken in my player tracking system I added, right? Because these fools, that's it, they're doing stuff, they're starting to contradict themselves. These fools says, right? Oh, you don't have no proof that your game was dislike bomb, right? So I introduced a new system, right? And here you could see here, after Vortex came and saying the worst about Starship Trek, here you are literally playing it after the new system was installed into the game. Here it is. It says you played the game for 7 minutes 55 seconds. That's your first session, right? Your first session. If you so hate this game, right? Why are you in it? What are you looking for? And you spent 7 minutes inside, right? But let me show you guys something here. Hang on. Just now. Let me open Roblox. There's a lot. Sorry for this video being so long, guys, but it's a lot to talk about. Because I'm getting you everything together, and we are not cutting out anything. We are going through everything data by data, right? What's that on the screen? Oh. Right, hang on. Right, let's go into Star Nexus here. We're entering into Star Nexus. Let me check to make sure we're still recording. Yes, we are. Oh, it's just only 50 minutes. I thought we were longer. Okay, so gonna go in. We're gonna let the system re-upload itself and show me all the data. Because when you tell yourself, he's gonna just join once. That guy didn't just join once after the what he said about Star Nexus. He joined 2 times. I might be 3 times by now. But we will see. Because it has been a while since I checked the system. Hang on, let me mute the volume on the screen here. So you guys only hear me. For the microphone, I tune up the volume so it's really sensitive right now. Give it a while, let the screen load out. My PC tend to not like recording, having studio and Roblox at the same time open, so it's a bit buggy. But I bet you something after this video, I'm sure that and Vortex Gamer is aware that I am tracking. He is entering the game. He will stop coming to the game. I bet you that. I bet you that. If you guys want a follow-up video to see whether or not if Vortex Gamer returns to the game after this video, you guys let me know in the comments. Because I guarantee you, he's not going to do it. Because why? Because he thought he could have been entering undetected, right? But sadly, nope. We detected you. We detected your Judas trifling ESS. Suck up, kiss Apollo ESS. Right? I'm saying that because they're the kids. Right? So we're just waiting here for the game to load out and the system to load all the files and the players that joined the game. Almost done loading, guys. Waiting. Right. Big space. Someone joined the game. Okay, don't know who this guy is, but he's in the video, so we'll check to see who he is after, right? But he's in the game. Okay, hang on, let me do something for a second here, guys. because my keyboard is damaged because of water fell on my laptop, so I will have to use a wireless keyboard. Let me set it up. Right. Wireless keyboard on. Okay, so over here, as I said, I did put a jail for them. Right. Over here, you see the one here, Vortex Gamer. It says wanted for betraying his friend, Phil Cameron Murray, game developer for Nexus, and taking side of the attacker who attacked Nexus rating by dislike bombing, even when there's evidence Apollo attacks. Vortex Gamer still betray Phil Cameron Murray and stand with Apollo the attacker, right? That's his one. Over here, here's one for Apollo. As you guys can see here, he's in the jail. And it says, wanted for attacking Star Nexus, spreading false information of the developer of Star Nexus, even if he made an amazing Star Trek game, he is not a nice person. Two other Star Trek devs like developers for Star Nexus, Phil Cameron Murray. Oh, you notice that player just joined for a few times. I left, right? So keep in mind, I keep watching those things because you can see when the loadout is, players play more time than usual, right? But yeah, you guys can read out more on that, right? We are here to see the system. And meanwhile, I'll just borrow one of these TARDISes. And I really want to get into gaming, because we're just here for a short space of time to show you guys, because it takes a while for the data to fully load out. And there's a Borg cube in the Earth space dock. I can take this one. Open sesame. Let me just check one more time to see if we're still recording. Yes, I am. Okay. Right. Can take off. As you guys can see, we added Doctor Who stuff and thing inside here, right? So I wasn't kidding. We really trying our best to reinvent the game, right? Okay. Now let's check our dev panel, so I can show you guys for a readout. Let me clear away all this stuff. Right. As you guys can see, one data is showing. Playtime starts off Phil Cameron Murray. Right. This is how long I've been playing the game for. right? So it's reading out all the data. So you just scroll up and we should see all the player play time. Right, as you guys can see, there are players joining the game around 17 seconds on these things, 0 seconds, right? But let's go and look for our friend Vortex Gamer, right? Hang on. He will be, let me go to the top and scroll down. You should see him. There he is. There. Oh, look at that. I told you guys second session, and the guy been there for oh wow, 3 times he visited the game. 3 times. And you guys watch his guys. What you see, right? This is the normal player rate, and I wasn't kidding when I say I have the top ranking highest player rate because I play the game plenty. 27 hours, 50 minutes, 33 seconds. How many sessions I played this game for? 19 sessions, and this is right after the system come online, right? But look at this, right? Let's scroll down. Scroll down, scroll down. Let me see if we can find my Vortex Gamer. That lying bastard. Why are you always in Star Nexus? What are you looking for? What are you looking for, dude? Are you going to go and look up for stuff for your daddy? Apollo? I think it was around the 11th minutes mark. Right, there he is. So I said last time it was he came in there for a second session. And trust me guys, if you guys want a follow-up video, comment in the comment section. But it is right there. Vortex Gamer. Right, 11 minutes 56 seconds, 3 sessions since the system came online, right? Since the system came online, Vortex Gamer has entered this game. But you had the worst to say with Apollo. You had the worst to say about the game. So why you keep coming back? What is it that makes you keep coming back? But yeah, enough of the game. Let's come out. Right? So, Star Nexus, the worst game to ever be on Roblox. But yet, the same people that says it's the worst game and agreeing with people that says it's the worst game, they found themselves in Star Nexus. Since the new system has been installed, right, and came online, you've been in the game 3 times and you spent a good while in there. You didn't just play all the hide and go seek to see what's going on. You spend a good time in the game, right? Don't wonder why your name is questionable. And I'm not saying that his name is questionable. He literally named himself questionable. And I feel it's his subconscious trying to come true to show that his intentions were always questionable. Right? And next thing, Vortex Gamer goes around and says, I dislike his game. And this message is for you if you're watching, right? Vortex Gamer, KV, who is the person that made a majority of the likes on your game? I'm asking for the guy who's outside. Because the ones on the inside know I, after dealing with Apollo, is the one that gave you likes. So the question is for you, Mr. Vortex Gamer. If I was to dislike your game, why would I stop at 1? And those who watching, if I create more than 10 accounts to deal with Apollo, and then after doing so, while you still working on your game, you ask me to help to gain some likes for your game, and I use them same exact accounts to do so, why would I just use one account to dislike you? And this is the stupid reality we are living in and have to deal with in this whole situation. Right? You so want to be under Apollo armpit because whatever he's giving you, I cannot give. And I just tell people I'm not going to go beyond my means or my capabilities to please no one. Right? So what you cannot get under me, apparently Apollo is giving it. And he will give you a lawsuit to deal with. Also. Because those who watching, these guys didn't only attack my game, they accused me of pedophilia, right? They also went as far as to leaking, well, as what they assume, but it's rather close, not in the same city I'm living in, but they went as far as leaking information of where I live in. How did they gain that information? I have no idea. It's the correct country, just not the city. Right? It's up to them to deny it. But if you deny it, you gotta bring the proof to deny it, and you can't bring the proof to deny it. I have intel of that, right? And I will tell you guys something. This goes for both Apollo and Mr. Vortex Gamer. You see that stuff you guys going around and saying, he's a pedophile. You better have. And if you guys gonna keep up with that shit, you guys better have your evidence to back that up. Because I'm telling you, a lawyer ain't gonna turn down a chance to be a millionaire. I will sue the clothes out all for you. Because that is definition of character with lack of evidence against a person. Because you guys have zero evidence. You guys have zero evidence to back that claims. But yet you guys go around and even threatening to go to the police. Go right ahead. You will get arrested even for wasting police time. Go right ahead. I dare you guys. I dare you, Apollo, go right ahead and make that complaint. Provoke me to go and get a lawyer involved, and you and your parents will be paying me some money. Because I'm really trying my best to be the nice guy. Despite all what you guys are doing, I am trying my best to be the nice guy. And you guys just pushing your luck. Take care what you guys push for. You and push, You keep pushing the lion, to see if it'll bite you. Be careful when it starts to bite, because you're gonna cry, you're gonna run, but you cannot hide. So my advice for them now, continue in this game. Both of you have a really good game. I also have a really good game. We are both developers, right? I am straying away from the content that you guys are currently working on because of legal reasons with Paramount. All of us here are fighting each other over Star Trek, but none of us here owns legal copyrights for making a Star Trek game on Roblox. Let's remember that. That's why Star Nexus does not no longer classify as a Star Trek game. Does it have Star Trek content? Yes. Is it wholly depend on Star Trek content? No. If Paramount is to come on Roblox today, they would not be coming for Star Nexus. They will be coming for games like Starship Trek, which is heavily, when I say heavily, ain't no denying that's a Star Trek game. Star Nexus, you have to question it. Look at the logo, for example. You see the Warbird from Star Trek. You see the USS Discovery from Star Trek. But at the same time, you see ships from Halo. You see other ships as well, not right? So Star Nexus, even though it has Star Trek, it do not portray itself as being Star Trek. Even the name itself says it all. But fools who should shut the damn mouth and not looking to attack other game developers, you understand, has zero copyright for Paramount. Today or tomorrow, Paramount could shut them down. Paramount could hit them a cease and desist letter from Roblox. And these idiots do not understand what they are doing is risking their fan base that they have for the game and for their game, because creating unnecessary drama is all bringing attention to you guys, not Star Nexus, not me, because I did the right thing and try not to be in view of Paramount when they're scanning Roblox for Star Trek games, which they have demonstrated they will take down. I make sure Star Nexus is safe. I even made copies of the game on my laptop in my Google Drive in case of this situation reach and it happened. There's a possibility, which I highly believe it does not, and Star Nexus will escape Paramount, because it had been with other Star Trek games in the past. It survived it just because of the smart thinking of this game developer, goes by the name of Phil Cameron Murray, which to change that and just put Cameron Murray, but because of me is why Star Nexus is still alive. Is why Star Nexus survived Starship Exploration and other Star Trek games, is because of me. I am the game developer and the management. There's no big team, nothing. I run the whole show when it comes to Star Nexus. So that's why sometimes development is a bit slow, because I am in control of everything: marketing, game development, managing things the legal way, right? Getting assets into the game. Just recently I was given assets for song effects, right? These things. Producing the background music for when battling or just idle in the game. These things I am all doing by myself. There's no second party, there's no second person, as I can show you guys here. Those who know how Team Create works in Roblox, Star Nexus has no team. Look it here. Let me click it here and show you guys. Star Nexus has no team. As you can see, only full Cameron Murray. I runs the show of all my games. All. When I say all. Because I just tell people I work hard on my games. And last time I tried to work in a team with someone, they brought in viruses and they stole assets and set it up free for the game developers to get. Right? One of my Knight Rider cars from my game was given to someone. Right? It was hard to get that car. Right? So these mistakes I made in the past is the main reason why I have so much security and works alone, right, on my games, because people can't be trusted. And this whole situation here, I say, it is like you had good intention. Imagine me as a game developer have good intentions to go and meet a fellow game developer in the same context of game development, and now has to come back and regret it. I'm sorry if I keep to myself in the future. If there's any future Star Trek game development going on with other game developers, I'm sorry, but I will be keeping to myself and working on Star Nexus. Not that I feel that I am pushy, but not pushy, feel that I'm full of myself or anything, but this whole experience has made me feel like I should just stay in my own lane, not try to be friendly, not try to be loving to any of these game developers, because all these guys see you as is competition. And I have already told them already, Star Trek is dead on Roblox. Compared to other games that are based on TV shows and movies, Star Trek is dead. Paramount came and they wiped them out. There were more than 10 Star Trek games on Roblox before Paramount took their past and started taking down every game. There should not be any fighting amongst the developers of Star Trek game that is left. At this point in time, there's only 2 games that can give you, but if you want to concave even, but his one is not that good, it's still in development, it's still progressing, eventually it will get good. But right now there's 2 games standing, right, that will give you Star Trek content: Star Nexus and Starship Trek. Those are the 2 games. Compared to other franchises that has 15 games, when it comes to Star Trek content, there are only 2 games will provide you with that: Star Nexus and Starship Trek. Right? And the thing is, as developers like Apollo are so stupidly that you don't understand the fact that we is all that is left. What you're fighting for is something, what you're fighting to hold the place for is something that is already dead. People accepted it. Instead of we work together and let the fandom know that Star Trek is no longer dead, you are going out your way to sabotage your competition. A competition that has no business of even thinking of competing with you. Because that is not the main directive. The main directive is to bring back Star Trek to Roblox in a way that we don't have to worry about copyright issues. Where the fandoms, that is my focus. My focus is mostly on the fandom of Star Trek. Not some egotistical morons. What matters to me is Star Trek, the fans of Star Trek, the fans of Star Trek on Roblox that lost their games. The game they used to play, the game they grew up playing. That is the fundamental importance to me. It is what Star Nexus was developed on. Restoring that, because I remember that day when Paramount took down everything, and I told my fans, I said it's not fair for us Star Trek fans to have to buy Star Trek stuff on Roblox and cannot play Star Trek games. Then what's the point? And that's what Paramount did. They sell Star Trek avatar items, but they took down all Star Trek games. There was none remain. Some will tell you that is not true. They came out after Paramount took down the majority of the games. Day 2 later on in the second wave was taken out. Star Nexus was the only one that survived because Star Nexus had a developer who is smart thinking and look at many legal avenues to deal with the matter and how we could come back. And then you have foolish developers who don't understand the context of what has happened, what will happen, and what will continue to happen unless we come together and with support of the fandom make it an easy, good community like other communities. As I tell people, as I tell my fans, there is no community much more fight down on Roblox.com than the Star Trek community. Because some of these devs becomes greedy. They become egotistical. They always think there is competition. I have played Doctor Who game. I have played Star Trek. I mean Star Wars game. And you don't see this. You don't see it at all. We on Roblox, Star Trek communities, especially amongst the devs, not me, are very toxic and very competitive in what they're doing. Star Nexus Evolution is not to be a Star Trek game. It will have Star Trek content, but we at Star Nexus is moving towards the Project Stardust approach. So who want to, and I will tell you this, KV have a long awakening to go, because I see where KV is heading, and trust me, what Apollo did to me, he's going to do to you. Mark my words. Mark my words. When your game KV Vortex Gamer, as some would know you. When your game start to progress, cause I see what you're doing. It's doing well. It's doing well. You're doing a good work. Don't feel I'm not seeing what you're doing. Apollo will do to you what he did to me in the future. Well guys, I think we talked long enough, and this is all I have to say. Just remember, the main question we was asking in the beginning, and you guys hear all the history. Now we'll come back to that question. What Star Nexus has that a game developer will sacrifice his fan base and everything to make sure that Star Nexus does not see a light of day. I'm Cameron Murray, game developer for Star Nexus and other games, and I beg you guys a good night or good morning wherever you are. Have a nice day guys. Keep good, be good, and do good.